After discovering my husband's affair with my sister, he told me I was overreacting, then he tried to blame me for his actions, so I packed my bags and left. Now, he's showing up at my door, begging for forgiveness, but I'm not sure I can ever trust him again. It was a Tuesday morning when everything fell apart. I had been married to Tom for 7 years, and I had always believed that our love was unshakable. We had built a life together, shared a home, traveled, laughed, cried, and fought. We were a team. Or at least, that's what I thought. The day I found out about the affair, everything shifted in a single moment. It started with an innocuous phone call from my sister, Olivia. She was the one person I trusted with everything. My best friend, my confidant. We'd been inseparable since childhood. I had always thought of her as someone I could rely on no matter what. But that morning, as I listened to her voice tremble through the phone, I knew something was wrong. "Riley, I need to talk to you," she said, her voice shaking. I don't know how to say this, but Tom and I have been seeing each other." The words hung in the air, suspended in time. I couldn't comprehend what I had just heard. Tom? My husband? And Olivia? My sister? It felt like the world had shifted under my feet, like I was no longer standing on solid ground. I stared at the phone in my hand, my heart racing, my mind screaming in disbelief. "You, what?" I finally managed to croak, my voice barely audible. "You and Tom? How long has this been going on?" "Riley, I'm so sorry. I never wanted to hurt you," she said, her voice cracking with guilt. "It started a few months ago, and I didn't know what to do. But it's been going on, and I can't keep lying to you." I felt my chest tighten, the weight of her confession suffocating me. I didn't know what to feel. Anger, sadness, betrayal? All of it at once. I wanted to scream, to demand answers, but all I could do was stand there, feeling numb. My sister. My own flesh and blood. And my husband. The man I had trusted with my heart. They had been lying to me for months. I can't believe this," I whispered, tears welling up in my eyes. "I can't believe you'd do this to me, Olivia. You're my sister. And Tom, he's my husband. How could you?" "I never meant to hurt you, Riley," Olivia said, her voice full of regret. "I don't know how to make this right, but I had to tell you. Please, understand. I'm so sorry." I hung up the phone without another word. The silence that followed was deafening. I could barely breathe, let alone process what had just happened. My mind was a blur of anger, hurt, and confusion. I had to confront Tom. I had to hear it from him. When I walked into our home that evening, Tom was sitting on the couch, watching TV as if nothing had changed. He looked up at me and smiled, a smile that, in that moment, felt like a betrayal. "Hey, babe," he said casually, as if nothing was wrong. "How was your day?" I stood there for a moment, trying to control the rage bubbling up inside me. My fists clenched at my sides, and I could feel my heart pounding in my chest. I took a deep breath, steadying myself, before I finally spoke. "I know," I said, my voice shaking with emotion. "I know about you and Olivia." Tom froze. The color drained from his face, but he quickly recovered, standing up and walking toward me with a calm that made my blood boil. "Riley, it's not what you think," he said, his voice soft but defensive. "It was a mistake. It meant nothing. You're overreacting." I stared at him, stunned by his lack of remorse. "Overreacting?" I repeated, my voice rising. "How can you say that? You slept with my sister. My own sister, Tom. And you think I'm overreacting?" I stared at him, stunned by his lack of remorse. "Overreacting?" I repeated, my voice rising. "How can you say that? You slept with my sister. My own sister, Tom. And you think I'm overreacting? He sighed and rubbed his temples, clearly frustrated. Look, I didn't mean for it to happen. It was a one-time thing, and I'm sorry. But you've been so distant lately, Riley. You've been so focused on your work, and I needed someone. Olivia was there. She understood me. I could feel the heat rising in my chest, my anger threatening to consume me. So, it's my fault? I asked, my voice dangerously calm. You're blaming me for your affair? For cheating on me with my sister? Tom didn't answer immediately. He shifted uncomfortably, avoiding my gaze. I didn't mean it like that, he said, but his words lacked conviction. I'm just saying that things have been tough between us. You haven't been there for me, Riley. You haven't been the wife I need. I stared at him, disbelief and anger swirling inside me. So, you cheat on me, and then you blame me for it? Are you serious, Tom? How can you even look me in the eye after what you've done? His face hardened, and for a moment, I thought he might say something else, something that would make it worse. But then he stepped closer to me, his voice dropping to a low whisper. I'm sorry, he said, almost pleading. I'll do whatever it takes to make it right. Please, Riley, don't leave me. I shook my head, tears streaming down my face. I can't do this anymore, Tom. I can't be with someone who betrays me like this. I can't look at you and pretend that everything is okay. You've broken me. You've broken us. I grabbed my bag, ignoring the pleading look in his eyes. I'm leaving, I said, my voice breaking. I can't stay here with you. Not after this. Tom reached out, grabbing my arm. Please, Riley, don't go. Please don't leave me. I love you. I'm sorry. I wrenched my arm free, my chest tightening with every step I took toward the door. I don't care, I said, my voice trembling with pain. You don't get to say that anymore. I don't trust you, Tom. I don't love you the way I did before. I left that night, packing a bag and heading to my mother's house. The house that had once felt like a sanctuary now felt like a prison. I couldn't escape the betrayal, couldn't shake the images of Tom and Olivia together. It was like a nightmare I couldn't wake up from. The weeks that followed were a blur of heartache and anger. I spent most of my time at my mother's house, trying to heal, trying to process everything that had happened. Olivia reached out several times, but I couldn't bring myself to speak to her. How could I? She had destroyed everything. She had taken my trust, my family, and my sense of security. And then, one day, the doorbell rang. I wasn't expecting anyone, but when I opened the door, I saw him. Tom. He was standing on my doorstep, looking as if he hadn't slept in days. His eyes were red-rimmed, his face drawn with exhaustion. He looked broken. But I didn't care. I had already given him too many chances. I had already loved him with everything I had, and he had destroyed it. I'm so sorry, Riley, he said, his voice thick with emotion. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness, but please, just hear me out. I crossed my arms over my chest, staring at him coldly. You don't get to come here and ask for forgiveness. Not after everything you've done. Not after you betrayed me with my own sister. I made a huge mistake, he said, his voice cracking. I'm not asking for your forgiveness right now. I'm just asking for a chance to show you that I can be the man you deserve. I've been seeing a therapist, I've been working on myself. I know I can't change the past, but I'm begging you, Riley, please let me show you that I've changed. I took a step back, the pain of his betrayal still raw. You think you can fix this? You think you can just waltz back into my life and everything will be okay? I can't trust you anymore, Tom. I don't even know who you are anymore. I'm sorry, he said, his voice breaking. I never wanted to hurt you. I never meant for any of this to happen. But I couldn't listen anymore. I couldn't let him back in. Not like this. I'm done, Tom, I said, my voice steady. You've destroyed everything. And I don't think I can ever trust you again. I closed the door without another word, leaving him standing there, begging for something that I couldn't give him. The door was shut, and with it, a chapter of my life. The life I had once shared with him. I didn't know what the future held, but I knew one thing for sure: this time, I was going to put myself first.